Hey everyone, we've got a new Player of the Week section on eFootball. As always, there'll be links in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about particular players, create a description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. Let's have a look at who we've got. Starting as always with the lowest rated, so we've got Svilar, Roma keeper. So this guy's had a fair upgrade on his base card. He's an attacking keeper. They've given him high punt alongside low punt, so you've got both options. So that's nice. And then these core goalie attributes, he's pretty solid to be honest. The reflex is 90 is great. Reach of 89, that should hit 90 plus with the game plan boost. Awareness is not brilliant, but it's good enough at 86. Catching and parrying are okay. So yeah, for the awareness alone, he's not an elite level keeper, but he's certainly a pretty solid one. So I think with this guy, it's a case of, you know, if you're lacking goalkeeper options, if you're new to the game especially, it could be a very useful one to pick up. But if you've got a lot of very good keepers, especially legend keepers, you're probably not going to be too much used to. I'll just notice as well the distribution stinks. So if you play the ball back to your keeper, be careful. He's not going to have the best passing, low or lofted. But yeah, not a brilliant keeper, but certainly a pretty solid one. Unless he has a lot of very good goalkeeper options, he could be a useful one to pick up. And then we have João Gomes from Wolves. So got a box-to-box centre midfielder. And the first thing I want to point out here, does not have one-touch pass or through passing. So that's a big miss, those two skills not being there. They've added interception, and that's a good one for a box-to-box. First-time shot, I think, is new as well. But yeah, outside of that, one-touch pass and through passing, those are the two ones he's really missing. His passing's not bad, but it's not brilliant either. So big miss with those passing skills. He's pretty tidy on the ball. Attack awareness is all right. Compared to his base card, they boosted the attacking awareness. They boosted, I think, the balance as well, and acceleration. He's reasonably mobile. You know, athletically he's pretty decent. The physical contact's going to be 80 plus with the game plan boost. Stamina's okay, but not brilliant for a box-to-box. Defensives, awareness should hit 70 with the good enough game plan boost. So he'll be 70 plus in all these, over 80 for aggression. But on the whole, he's kind of just sort of okay across the board for a box-to-box. But that's before you factor in the fact that one-touch pass and through passing are missing. So yeah, statistically, all right. The lack of skill is a big problem. So I think unless you're a Wolves fan, this guy's probably going to come up a bit short, to be honest. Then Pašalić from Atalanta, another box-to-box centre mid. He's normally an attacking mid, whole player. They changed him from whole player to box-to-box. So this guy can play defensive mid, centre mid, attacking mid. I think defensively with the tackling being so low, certainly wouldn't have him a defensive mid. As a centre mid, maybes. If we look at his skills, they've added first time shot there. He's got one touch pass, through passing, low lofted pass, so some nice passing skills. Trap back and interception. So he's got the most important one, interception, if for a box to box defensively. But yeah, those defensive skills aren't brilliant. So you're gonna need at least one midfielder behind him doing the defensive work. But he could do centre mid. Could also be an attacking mid like he normally is, just won't have that whole player playing style, so he won't be quite as aggressive with his forward runs. But down the left there, he's pretty solid. That dribbling should hit 80 with the game plan boost with a good enough manager. Attacking awareness at 80 is good. Low pass is going to be 90 plus with the game plan boost, and with some nice passing skills, this guy's passing is going to be very good. Just having a quick look at his base card. Have they boosted him much? Not really. His dribbling is 4 lower than his maxed out base card on auto allocation. Tight possessions a few lower. Passing has had a boost. Low pass has been improved. His defenses are significantly improved from his base card. What else is there? Physical contact's been boosted. Stamina as well. Yeah, so yeah, a couple are lower than his base card, which is frustrating. I don't know why they do that. I think personally, I've said this before, but all their attributes should be at least as high as their base card, with some of them better. I don't know why some of them get worse based on a good performance. That does not make sense, but a lot of things don't make sense in this game. But yeah, very nice passing, tidy enough on the ball, but he's not the most mobile. He's lacking pace, balance is a bit poor, although the physical contact, as I just mentioned, is pretty good for a centre mid, or especially for an attacking mid. Yeah, I think if you don't mind the lack of mobility, he's technically pretty tidy. He's got very nice passing, so he's very capable of creating goals. But yeah, that lack of mobility, I think for most people as an attacking midfielder or an offensive-minded centre midfielder, there's just not quite enough about him to really consider this a particularly good card. But certainly he's got qualities and he's got very nice passing. So there are some qualities there. For some people, it could be a nice card to pick up. Now, this is a very interesting one. We've got Llorente from Atletico Madrid, who can play just about everywhere. I mean, even before this card, he could play just about everywhere, but now they made him a centre-forward goal poacher. This is a really interesting one. So, great pace. Looking at his base card, I mean, it's difficult to compare to his base card because his base card's a centre mid, and it can be trained for all these positions except for centre forward. But yeah, I'm not gonna compare the attributes to his base card for that reason, because it's a new position they've given him. But we'll consider these other positions he can play. I'm not going to go through all of them because we'll be here all day. But yeah, very good pace. The physical and balance aren't brilliant. They never really are with Llorente. Great stamina though. He's defensively okay. Obviously he's aggressive, got good engagement. The tackling and defensive awareness never tends to be great with him. On the ball, it could have made it better. You know, we've had other versions of Llorente that go to a higher rating than 93. And he's usually better on the ball, but again, it's a different position, so you've got to look at this guy a little bit differently. Attacking awareness has certainly had a boost. That's high enough to play as a centre forward, although it's not brilliant. Passing is okay for a centre, well, it's good for a centre forward. Again, it depends what position you play. And finishing, again, okay for a centre forward. If we look at the skills, they've given him. So he's already got first time shot. Actually, I was going to ask if they're giving him it. I always forget. He's always got first time shot. He doesn't usually have one touch pass. They've given him one touch pass. So they finally give him one touch pass, and it's on a centre forward version. And through passing as well. Interesting. So his passing for a centre forward, if you play him there, is going to be very good. Got long range curler up there as well. He's obviously got his other skills. He normally has man marking, trap back, interception, fighting spirit. This is a very interesting card. It's different. I think this would be a really fun one to pick up. I don't think you could get away with playing this card in midfield. I don't think the passing is good enough. Defensively, I don't think he's quite good enough to play defensive mid. So personally, I wouldn't use this guy at defensive centre or attacking midfield. As a right midfielder, maybe. He could do a job right midfield. Very good pace. The crossing won't be too bad. That should, with a good enough manager, should hit 80 with the game plan boost. Remember, one touch passing, through passing. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing. He can actually cross it. I've seen him recently play one or two very nice crosses, but yeah, it doesn't have pinpoint crossing. On the ball, he's okay. So yeah, and attacking awareness and finishing for a wide man would be very good. So I think you could get away with him as a right midfield, certainly. Right back, I think you could get away with him there as well, to be honest. The pace, the defensives are just about okay for a right back. Technically, he's good enough for a right back. He's got a good skill set for a right back. Then you've got centre forward, as I say. He can get away with centre forward. The awareness and finishing could be high for a centre forward, but outside of that, technically pretty sound. Very nice passing for a centre forward. Good pace, stamina. SS though, I'm looking at SS. I'm thinking maybe his SS is his position. Goal poacher playing style will be active there. I think SS could be a very interesting one because he's tidy enough technically. The awareness and finishing are good enough as an SS. Passing will be good enough for an SS with those passing skills that he's got. Good pace, the stamina, but with the defensive ability he's got and the defensive skills he's got, it could be a really interesting one because he's certainly got enough in attacking sense as an SS, but defensively as well. Your attack breaks down, he's going to be there doing his defensive work, pressing his man. He'll track back. Obviously, he's got that track back skill. He could be a really interesting one. I think as an SS or a centre forward and down the right hand side, you've got four options where he could be very viable. I think this could be a very useful version of Llorente. Obviously, a little bit different to other versions of him that we've had. So, yeah, especially for the Spanish League Challenge. The Spanish League Challenge, I often find there's 1 or 2 positions where I don't have anyone who's got A or B form. I think this guy, for the Spanish League Challenge especially, but in general as well, could be a really useful card to pick up. So, yeah, it's a nice one, that. Quite keen to get that. Then we have Kubo, who's in Player of the Week simply because he scored. He didn't play badly. I watched the match on the telly, but for the most part, apart from scoring, most of what he did was just get the ball, do a few step overs, get tackled. But he's Japanese, so obviously he gets in Player of the Week. So, yeah, compared to his normal card, the most significant change for me, they've made him a prolific winger. Normally he's a creative playmaker, I think. But this time, I'm just going to have a quick look actually. He is normally a creative playmaker, yeah. So this time, prolific winger. For me personally, that's an improvement. If you're going to play him out wide, for me personally, prolific winger will be more aggressive with his runs. He'll be more inclined to run in behind the defender into spaces compared to a creative playmaker. So if you're going to play him out wide, I think that's a big upgrade. His playing style won't be active playing attacking mid or SS. I don't think his passing is good enough to play as an attacking mid. They've not really boosted his passing compared to his base card. Just looking at his base card maxed out. His ball control has been reduced by 4. Again, and tight possession likewise. I don't know why they do that. Attacking awareness has been boosted by a few. Finishing has had a significant boost. What else is there? Stamina's 5 worse. So yeah, another one of these cards where he's a bit better in some areas, but he's a bit worse in other areas. I don't understand why they do that. It really annoys me. It just makes me think, well, I might as well buy the GP version instead. But yeah, like I say, does have a nice playing style, prolific winger, and his awareness and his finishing are better. And if we look at the skills, what have they added? I'm not sure what they've added. Just having a look at his base card now. Knuckle shot is new, if you like doing knuckle shots. And interception? He's got 1-touch passing, 2 passing. They'll help with his passing. It won't be quite as bad, but his passing isn't brilliant for an attacking mid. It'll be okay out wide though. Outside curve is a nice one. Long range curve, very nice one. Cutting inside onto his left foot from the right. So yeah, the playing style makes this a reasonably appealable card to me, but outside of that, even though 1 or 2 attributes had a bit of a boost, the awareness and finishing, some of them have been reduced from his base card. So yeah, on the whole, it's another frustrating player of the week card, to be honest. There are some good things about it, but some frustrating things as well. So looking at it in isolation, pretty useful card. He's going to be nippy, responsive, pretty dangerous as a wide right player. I wouldn't play him through the middle for the lack of passing. Could play him as an SS maybe, but yeah, like I say, frustrating based on his and how, you know, compared to his base card. But in isolation, I think a pretty tidy card, a pretty tidy version of Kubo, certainly for the Spanish League Challenge and for the National Team Challenge if you've got a Japan squad. Could be a tidy one. I'll be pleased enough if I pick him up. Just frustrating that they've not really improved him that much from his base card, really. This one I think a lot of people are going to be interested in. So we've got Lucas Hernández from PSG. This guy's base card back at the start of the game could be trained as a centre-back, and he was amazing. This one's interesting because his base card currently is a centre-back, and this one can be used either as a left-back, which is what he's down as, or as a centre-back. I think he's a very strong option as both. So we'll start as a left-back, that's what he's down as. Defensive full-back. The pace is not brilliant for a full-back, but it's certainly not bad. It's kind of okay. Stamina, you could find him getting a bit tired late in the game with only 84 stamina. Defensively, he's very strong. Physical contact 80 is good for a fullback as well. Jumping 87, he does have aerial superiority. We'll look at skills in a second. I always say it, but for a fullback, I like these to be 80 plus, especially ball control. I don't like fullbacks being dodgy on the ball. It just makes it harder to, you know, to keep hold of the ball and to avoid getting dispossessed in your defensive third. So personally, I think that's a little bit too low for a fullback. Passing, I think it's okay. I'd like the low pass to be a bit higher, but as long as those two are around the 80 mark, I think that's okay. So I think that's okay for a fullback. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing though. We'll look at his skills now. So what have they changed? He's got long range shooting. Don't think that's going to come in too handy. They've added blocker though. That's a big addition. So he's already got, I think, just about all the skills you'd want for a centre back. Heading and aerial superiority, like I said, for a fullback, could be fantastic in the air. 6 foot. 87 jumping, 80 physical contact, 82 heading. He's got aerial superiority and heading. So for a fullback, he's going to be great in the air. Man marking, intersection, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit helps with his stamina not being too high. Great selection of skills for a fullback. Just lacking pinpoint crossing for me, but he's a defensive fullback, so he won't get forward too much. As a centre-back, he's got a fantastic set of skills. If you use him as a centre-back, it would be nice if the defensive awareness was a bit higher for a centre-back. 84 with the game plan boost, that will be 85 or 86. Decent enough manager, that game plan boost. We'll see all the other 3 defensives go over 90. Down the left for a centre-back, very tidy. Down the right, he's got good pace for a centre-back. In the air, he won't be brilliant for a centre-back. Like I say, for a fullback, he'll be great because fullbacks don't tend to be 6 foot and good in the air with aerial superiority. But for a centre-back, 6 foot tall, the physical contact's the one concern, really. Jumping 87 is good, obviously. You've got aerial superiority, but 80 physical contact, 6 foot tall. I think he'll be okay in the air for a centre-back, but not brilliant. For a centre-back, balance is decent, stamina's good. Yeah, it's just the defensive awareness and the fact he's not brilliant in the air. So he's not perfect as a centre-back, but he has plenty of qualities, though. So he's really a kind of a centre-back who's not going to the kind of most physically imposing, certainly in the air, and the awareness isn't the highest that it could be, but he is very quick and mobile, does have a great section of skills, he's technically sound, so I think he's a very viable option as a centre-back. Depends what centre-forwards your opponent's got. And as a defensive fullback playing left-back, I think defensively especially very strong. So yeah, this card for me I think is a very, very strong card in 2 positions, so it could be a very valuable card to pick up. And then we have another left-back, Carlos Augusto from Inter. So again, I'll compare him to his base card. His speed's been reduced, acceleration increased. Down here, physical contact's had a nice boost. Defense has had a bit of a boost. On the ball, he's had a bit of a boost. Unlofted pass as well. He does have, I think, yeah, pinpoint crossing. And again, for a fullback, just like with Hernández just now, heading and aerial superiority on a fullback, 6 foot tall. Doesn't quite have the attributes of Hernández, but still, for a fullback, he's going to be good in the air. But just to finish up on the skills here, you know what he's missing for a fullback. There's no interception. He doesn't have anything else like man marking, acrobatic clearance. He's got sliding tackle, I suppose, but without interception and no man marking or block or acrobatic clearance, he's lacking defensive skills. The most important skills for a fullback aren't there. Certainly interception. Going forward, though, he's got pinpoint crossing. He is quite quick. Lofted pass 80, so he's got a decent cross on him. His dribbling's decent, but lacking the most important skills for a fullback. Tight possession is awful. Low pass is really bad. Ultimately, it is a guy who's got some qualities, but the weaknesses for me, lacking interception especially, a couple of dodgy attributes there. He might have some qualities, but the weaknesses for me offset against the strengths. So for me, this guy doesn't make the grade. Now we've got our first booster of the week. We've got Jonathan David from Lille. So this is quite an interesting one because he's a pacey goal poacher. That's the type of player he is. But the skill they've given him is aerial superiority. So just to address that initially, he's, what is he, 5'10", maybe, something like that. He's not the biggest. His physicals and kind of aerial are okay. You know, with a good enough manager in the game plan boost, physical contact should hit 80, jumping's 80 already, heading likewise should hit 80, aerial superiority. So he should be all right in the air. But with his height and those attributes not being too high, I don't expect him to suddenly be great from crosses. He's going to be better than normal, but he's not going to be brilliant from crosses. They have boosted his aerial and physical attributes a bit, but yeah, it's just a nice bonus that will be a bit better from crosses. So don't think too much about that aerial superiority being added. In terms of the rest of his skills, he's already got first time shot. Heel trick's a nice one. He's got some dribbly stuff. One touch pass is a nice one for a striker to have. Outside curve is nice. But yeah, he's got the most important ones for a centre forward. We'll see what his booster gives him. As I say, this is a booster card. And they made him even quicker, so it's these ones. So, compared to his base card, without the boost, so it's an interesting one. Without the boost, speed's the same based on the auto allocation of points on his base card. Acceleration is 4 lower than the base card, but if he's on A form, it's only 1 lower. Down here, balance is standard both lower than the base card. But then when you get a form boost, balance is only 2 lower than the base card, maxed out. Stamina 2 higher. So again, how much of an incentive is there to get this card, to spend coins trying to get this card, rather than spending GP on the base card? Not a great deal. Not a great deal. Looking down the left-hand side, they've boosted his technicals a bit, to be fair. It's especially ball control. Ball control's gone up by 6. Attacking awareness is up a little bit. Down here, the passing's been boosted a bit. Finishing's about the same. Heading's been boosted. So, yeah, compared to his base card, not a big improvement, but there are a bunch of attributes that have been improved. But for his speed and his agility to be better than his base card, you need the A form boost, and even then, it's not much of a change. So, again, a bit frustrating compared to the base card. But if you look at this guy in isolation, goal poacher, great pace, physical contact and balance should hit 80 on A form with the game plan boost. They'll be there or thereabouts regardless. Reasonable on the ball, but not brilliant. Attacking awareness is good again with a good enough game plan boost. He should hit 90 for attacking awareness, which is great. Passing is alright for a striker when he's got one touch pass as well. Finishing, not amazing, but it's certainly good enough at 86. Yeah, ultimately this is a good, very useful, pacey goal poacher centre forward. Again, I keep saying that there are some improvements, but compared to the base card, there's some areas where I just think it should be better. Otherwise, I'm not that motivated to spend coins trying to get him. It annoys me, but yeah, like I say, in isolation though, this is a good striker card. It's not an amazing one. I don't think it's a particularly elite one, but it's got all the qualities you expect really of a pacey goal poacher, except the finishing's not quite so high, but they have made his physical and aerial a little bit better than normal. So I think it's a pretty tidy card. And outside of the frustrations in terms of the comparison to his base card, I think this is a pretty good card to pick up. Then another striker, we got Højlund from Man U. So this Højlund card, I'll start with the skills because there's good news with the skills. Long range curler, and I think is it one touch pass they've added as well. I'm just having a quick look at his base card. Yeah, one touch pass and long range curler. So that's two good skills to add. But again, compared to his base card, is it much of an improvement? Not really. I mean, we've had other featured versions that I think are a bit better. I'm not seeing a lot different. His passing's been boosted a bit. Anything else? Not really. Oh, they've reduced his balance by 6. Excellent. Yeah, so yeah, apart from those skills, I don't see enough reason to want to spend coins trying to get this guy, to be honest. It's so frustrating that surely the whole point of these packs is it's a special version of each of these players, and you're going to want to throw your cards at it trying to get this version of a player that's better than what you can get with your GP, which basically means that, the GP basically means it's free, isn't it? Because you'll get GP for free. This is just another version of Højlund. There's not anything special, to be honest. Those two skills they've added, yeah, they're nice. He's already got first time shot. Heel trick is nice. Acrobatic finishing. Long range curler is a very nice one to have. One touch pass likewise is very useful for a striker, especially when the passing's not great. It will make it a bit better. But yeah, compared to the base card, this is a disappointment for me. Looking at it in isolation, attacking awareness 82 is not really good enough for a 5-star centre forward. On the ball, he's a little bit dodgy. Not too dissimilar to Højlund, really. He's that type of striker. He's big and physical. I've said this before. When a striker's this tall, he's big and strong, got physical contact, kicking power. It's a shame when they don't have better ability in the air. He's not got heading. He's not got aerial superiority. Does a acrobatic finishing, but jumping only 69, heading 73. It's a shame with his physique. He's not better in the air. But like I say, he's the way the attributes are balanced out. It's similar to Erling Haaland in the sense that he's big, he's powerful, he's quick, but he's going to be awkward. He's not got great balance. He's not particularly good on the ball, but finishing's decent. Like I say, he's got the pace and he's got power, but yeah, I don't think it's really particularly interesting compared to his base card, really. So some qualities there. It's obvious what he's good at. He's quick, he's powerful, he can finish, but even in isolation, I don't think it's that great of a card, to be honest. So it's a little bit of a disappointing one for me. And we finish with our other two booster cards. Ødegaard first. So we've had some good versions of Ødegaard before, Player of the Week and other selections. You know what to expect from him. What he's good at is obviously the technicals down here. We'll hit the boost straight away, see what we get. So, okay, it's an interesting one. So ball control is even better. Finishing, that's had a boost. I'm sure that's had a boost. Yeah, I'm looking now at his base card maxed out. So not a huge difference in the base card. Ball control has had a boost. Even before the boost is activated, his ball control has been boosted a bit. His finishing is probably the biggest boost I can see here. He's finishing up to 81. The base card maxes out on auto allocation with 72. So his shooting is going to be really good. The one issue with Ødegaard is he's not the quickest. It comes down to, I think, whether you're okay with your kind of attacking midfielder having, not having much pace. You can play him centre mid, but he's not great defensively. Orchestrated playing style will mean he's not going to move around too much. So yeah, you could play as an orchestrator with one or two defensive-minded players behind him, but then you're going to have a gap between your midfield and your attack, and I think you're going to notice that with the orchestrated playing style. So personally, I play him attacking mid. He's clearly not quick enough to play as a right-sider, but as an attacking midfielder, like I said, I think it comes down to whether you're okay with the lack of pace, because pretty much everywhere else he's good. The balance is decent enough, stamina's okay, I think. It could be better, but could be worse. But yeah, down the left is these technicals, he's great. With a good enough manager, the game plan boost, these three technicals here are going to all be 90 plus. Attacking awareness in the 80s, passing is absolutely fantastic. Finishing 81, and with that boost, like I say, finishing goes to 84, ball control 96. Kicking power with a game plan boost will be 90 plus. That's interesting. Physical contact should hit 70. So for an attacking midfielder, that's not bad. But yeah, this guy's finishing is interesting. I think that's the big boost with this Ødegaard, to be honest. He's what you expect from Ødegaard. Technically very tidy, great passing, but he's got some really nice shooting. And has he always got long range shooting? So I'm having a quick look at his base card. Yes, he's already got long range shooting. Oh, they're giving him one-touch pass. Interesting. That's a big addition then for an attacking midfielder. So one-touch pass, he's already got through passing, pinpoint crossing. Long range shooting though, like I say, I think that's the thing. He's already got great passing. They've now got one-touch pass on him. But long range shooting, 84 finishing when he's on A form with the boost. 89 kicking power, which is going to go 90 plus with the game plan boost. Interesting. Yeah, so the usual Ødegaard, but the one-touch pass will make his passing even better. And he's going to have a really deadly long-range shot on him. And his shooting in general is going to be great. So yeah, if you like Ødegaard, if you don't mind the lack of pace and you like this guy normally, I think this could be a really nice version of him to pick up. I think that the shooting is the big addition for me really, but one-touch pass likewise. So yeah, you know, in some ways just another version of Ødegaard, but the additional one-touch pass and shooting I think makes it a really good version of him. And I think fans of Ødegaard, especially Arsenal fans, will be very pleased with this one. It's a very good card. And we finish up with the booster Van Dijk. So Van Dijk, they've not really done much with him. Compared to his base card, again, a bit of a boost to his pace, which is nice because he's not the quickest. So with the game plan boost, you're going to be 80 plus on speed. That's nice for Van Dijk. I'm not sure there's been a version of him that can go that high for speed. The jumping, 86, physical 93. Balance is poor, as you'd expect with Van Dijk. Stamina 74 is not brilliant. Defensive awareness is great at 94. The other ones, they're all going to be sub 90 even with the game plan boost, so it could be better. His base card goes a bit higher on his defensive with auto allocation, so again a bit frustrating compared to his base card, but they have boosted the speed a bit. Down the left, they have boosted his technicals a little bit as well. These have gone up by a good few, so there are some boosts here. There are some improvements compared to his base card. Same playing style that he normally has. Let's see what our booster does though. We get the physical stuff. So aerial in physically is going to be even better than he normally is. That's good. So again, with the game plan boost, when he's on A form, he's going to be 90 plus on jumping, 96 before the game plan boost for physical contact, heading 84. Finishing goes up from 46 to 49. Fantastic. Have they added any skills? Don't think so, no. So we've got the usual. We've got the heading and air superiority, interception, man marking, blocker, back clearance, sliding tackle. You've got all the skills of a centre back basically. Weighted pass and low lofted pass. So yeah, it's like I said, some of these defensives are slightly lower than his base card when it's maxed out, which is frustrating, but there are some other attributes that have been boosted. He's a bit quicker than he normally is. Physically, he's a monster. Yeah, it's in isolation, it's a pretty solid version of Van Dijk, and I think if you separate the fact it's Van Dijk and you know his team and all the rest, as a build-up centre-back, very, very good card, a very solid card. So yeah, some frustrations, but there are some boosts to his attributes as well. And ultimately, it's a very, very good, solid build-up centre-back card, and I think fans of Liverpool and Van Dijk will be pretty pleased with this card, to be honest. So there you go. I think that's a decent selection, to be honest. Some slightly frustrating, but I think there's a bunch of cards in there that are worth picking up. It's a mixed bag, but it's certainly not a bad selection. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you soon.